Interpreting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these are the most common response data types. So when you make a request and you get a response from a server, you're likely going to be getting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Your browser's job is to download each one of those files. But the browser also has these things called engines. And so these engines have certain rules for HTML. They have different rules for CSS, and they have different rules for JavaScript. If your browser thinks it's opening a JavaScript file, it'll use the JavaScript engine to read and interpret and make your website interactive. Likewise with CSS and HTML. So if it realizes that there's a CSS file, a cascading style sheet file that is, it's going to try to interpret that and make your website look good. And so they have different purposes. Once all the files are downloaded, as best as they possibly can, it's going to piece them all together, and again, it's going to try to display your website, or it's going to perform a render. But at some point, JavaScript is going to take over the browser, just because the browser has a particular purpose, but JavaScript also has its own purpose. So after the initial response is rendered or displayed in your browser, most of the time, JavaScript is going to take over. Not all the time, and sometimes there's some cooperation between JavaScript and your browser. JavaScript can tell the browser to make more requests on the fly by dynamically adding links, images, and other assets to your page, or by directly communicating with the browser and creating a new request. So JavaScript can make its own requests, but your browser can also make requests too.